Alright, I hope you gave this challenge a good go. And if you got stuck somewhere, then remember you can always go on Google or Stack Overflow to get some help. Because challenges like these, they help you learn faster, they give you that confidence that you need, and they help you build that muscle memory that you always need when you will be coding full time. If and only if, when you don't get any help from anywhere, then only come and watch these videos. I know this is a difficult problem and could be tricky to solve. So let's break down this problem and find out our key information here. So we know that our Fibonacci series will always have the first two numbers as 0 and 1. And only after that we start building our series. And each of these next item that we'll be building is the sum of previous two items. So in this case, our first two elements are 0 and 1, and then we sum 0 and 1 to get our third element, which is 1 again. Then we sum 1 and 1 again to get our next element, which is 2. So at the very least, we need three variables here. The first variable is to store our current value, and there should be another variable to store our previous value, and there should be another variable to store the value before the previous value. So let's declare these three variables, and we know that our previous value will be 1 because that's our first element, and our before previous value is 0. Now to get the current value, we need to sum previous and before previous, which gives us our current value. So first let's print our very first number, which is before previous, and then we will print our second number, which is previous. And after that, we can start building our series. And remember, we need to print 20 Fibonacci numbers. So we need to complete this series till 20th element. And we have already taken care of our first and second element. So now we need to print the next 18 elements or next 18 numbers in this series. So let's declare one more variable, and this variable we will use inside our while loop just to iterate over our while loop 18 times so that we can get all these 18 numbers. So let's initialize it with the 0, and in our while loop we'll give this condition that I is less than 18. So this will make this loop run 18 times. And then within this while loop, we need to write our logic to get these Fibonacci numbers. So we already know that to get the current value, we need to sum the previous value and the before previous value. So this will give us our current value. So let's say our previous value is 1 and before previous is 0, then our current value will become 1. And as soon as we get our current value, let's print it out so that we get our next element. Now that was only one part. We need to make sure that when we come to this loop next time, our previous value and before previous value is also changed. These two values cannot be constant. You cannot always let them be 0 and 1. You need to keep on updating the previous and before previous value as and when you progress through your series. So first let's update our before previous value, which should be equals to previous now because we have moved ahead in the series by one item. So the before previous is now previous. And then let's update our previous value with the current value because when we come to this loop again, this will become our previous value. And in the end, don't forget to increment i's value because if you leave it as is, your loop will keep on executing forever. So we need this i's value to be incremented so that our loop exactly run 18 times. So these five statements will keep on executing 18 times Our current value, previous value, and before previous value will keep on updating with each loop execution and will keep on building our Fibonacci series. Now let's execute this code and let's see if we get the correct output or not. We have got our output and looks like the values are correct. At least I remember the Fibonacci series till item 21. And let's check out our 20th number in the Fibonacci series. And let's Google the actual 20th number in Fibonacci series. If both value matches, then it means our code is working fine. So looks like our logic is working fine. This was a difficult challenge and give yourself a pat on the back if you managed so far. I'll see you all in the next video where we will be learning about for loops.